War is raging, government is stealing our freedom, food processing plants are burning, and gun sales are through the roof. You're in the right place. This is The Prepared Mind.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Bam! Remember, the preparedmind.club is where you go to get your preps, and you're going to need them. Boy, I tell you, some of the most hardened Make America Great Again, some of the most dyed-in-the-wool Trump supporters are pissed off that nothing is being done about the most obvious crimes in the world. But before I delve into that, I wanted to get into something that has a positive sound to it, positive note, a positive message. Our Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, he did a prepared mind today and tore off the bullshit bandage, and he let it rip. The crowd he spoke to loved it. America loves it, and America needs real men in the military, not dick smokers and not trannies. So Secretary of Defense Hegseth said this, quote, "It's one of the most fundamental of those three objectives. Again, humans more important than hardware. Everything starts and ends with warriors, from training to the battlefield. We are leaving wokeness and weakness behind. No more pronouns, no more climate change obsession. No more emergency vaccine mandates. No more dudes in dresses. We're done with that shit." And the crowd went nuts. "We're focused on lethality, meritocracy, accountability standards, and readiness. That's why since Election Day, since President Trump was elected, recruitment and retention numbers are up historically. Attracting military service is something Americans have long been attracted to, but more so when they see leadership they want to follow." And I think he said quite a bit. He said a lot more than that, but that's all I wanted to share here. Right? Recruitment and retention numbers are up historically, despite the fact that all the fruitcakes, pole smokers, sausage riders, fishnet stocking wearing trannies, yeah, they're on the way out, but they're going to be replaced by far better people, far better men, far better Marines and soldiers. And that, my friends, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, that is how it should be said. And all of this needs to be followed through upon. And I'm glad we have him in the military, in the leadership role. And he's right. When you have leaders, people will listen, people will follow, and good things happen. Now, we have some more big news today. Great news. And I wanted to share this. The FBI and the Department of Justice announced rescuing 115 children. They've rescued 115 children, and over 200 pedophiles, predators have been arrested as part of, quote, Operation Restore Justice. Now, I think this is great news. 115 children were saved, 200 pedophiles arrested. And if that is good news, cosmically great news will be the Epstein arrests. Are you waiting for it? Because I am. I certainly am. Oh, yeah. Where is it? I love the good news, and I know that America wants the great news. Where's Pam Bondi? Where is Cash Patel? Well, get this, folks. Oh, we're just starting the show. Comments, questions down below. It is a wacky Wednesday on the Prepared Mind channel, and we all need to be prepared. Now, Congressional Representative James Comer has essentially dropped a bombshell on Pam Bondi at the Attorney General's office and Cash Patel and everyone else in government law enforcement. And basically, he accused them of destroying Epstein evidence, losing Epstein evidence. Somehow they didn't have the Epstein evidence. Well, the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, didn't like hearing that. Oh, no, we can't have anyone accusing her of not doing her job right. So she responded to Comer's bombshell statement this morning, and she did it outside the White House because a reporter asked about Representative James Comer's statement, accusation. Now, was it yesterday or the day before? The White House spokesgirl said, there is no firm date on when the Epstein files will be released, which was met with a howl of protest by all of America. So then Comer comes out and makes his statement on Tuesday. And so today on Wednesday, Pam Bondi comes out and says this: the FBI, they're reviewing tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. Now, Pam Bondi is the Attorney General, not the FBI. Why is she now throwing this back at the FBI and saying, the FBI, they're reviewing tens of thousands of videos? Tens of thousands of videos. That's what she said. Hundreds of victims, tens of thousands of videos. Oh, Pam, so you know who the bad guys are because you can view them in these videos. But you don't want to make any arrests until you have reviewed every last video, reviewed every last paper. She's a fucking liar. A fucking liar. She said that information was on her desk. She said they were redacting the names of the innocent. Now they're reviewing videos. How long does this take? How hard is it to do this job? All the government, any cop needs to do is see one person commit a crime, and that's all they need. A policeman only needs to view a crime, and they can go arrest instantly. But I guess if you're committing pedophilia, you're raping children, you can't just be arrested. You have to review every piece of evidence on the planet from time immemorial before you can go make any arrests. Is that it? No. You see a person, you identify who they are, you witness the crime, and you go get a fucking arrest warrant and you arrest that person right there. You arrest them instantly the same way you or me would be arrested. It's that simple. It's that simple. But Pam Bondi is throwing it back at the FBI. The FBI hasn't said shit for months about it. I think Pam and Cash are covering for them, the Epstein list. They're hoping that we're just going to forget. They're hoping that the news will just go away. But you and I have not forgotten. We have not forgiven. We don't need to. We're holding them accountable. So please keep writing, keep calling, keep sending messages, keep posting on social media. Use their names: Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, FBI, Department of Justice, Attorney General's office. They need to do their fucking jobs. Now, James O'Keefe, former manager, owner of Project Veritas. He came out days ago and says, I've got amazing information. It's going to blow the lid off of something, right? And now I have to go into hiding until we release it because I'm afraid for my life. That's what he said, right? Me and my guys. Well, according to Alex Jones, or at least the reports are coming out, that Alex Jones says that allegedly Pam Bondi is the one who is covering for the Epstein files, the Epstein clients. It's her right at the top. We don't know that for sure. This is alleged. But James O'Keefe supposedly has the goods on someone on the Trump team. Somebody on the Trump team is covering for Epstein's clients, and that this report, which James O'Keefe says is life-threatening, is coming out today. Uman said 3 p.m. We don't know if that's 3 p.m. Eastern time, which is past. Haven't heard anything. So perhaps it's 3 p.m. Pacific time. Well, at 3 p.m., people are still working in California. It would make sense to release it at 5 p.m. California time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But who the hell am I, right? I'm just a little guy, right? But this needs to happen. Whatever this bombshell report is, it needs to come out. Names, pictures, people, accomplices. It needs to happen. There needs to be arrest, and justice needs to take place. I'm glad they rescued some kids today. But we have some of the most powerful people on the planet getting away with literal rape, pedophilia, and murder. Now, I love Florida. They're always rounding these people up, literally, especially in Polk County, which is over there next to Disney World, right? And they don't play any fucking games. Other areas in Florida, same story. They don't play games. Well, I think Pam Bondi is a Democrat. Well, maybe not. Maybe not, because we got maggot Mike Johnson. He's worthless as fuck. And you got Senator Toon, the leadership in the Senate. They're worthless as fuck. They have all the authority they need, all the power they need to accomplish great things for this country. And they're not doing a damn thing for us. The entire Washington machine is put in place to preserve and protect themselves. It's embarrassing is what it is. You know, I actually think the Republicans in Washington, D.C. are worse than the Democrats. Because at least the Democrats admit to what they're doing. They do. What do the Democrats do? They bring in illegal aliens. They harbor illegal aliens. They give them money, these illegal aliens. They want to kill babies, no problem. They want to burn down cities, they admit it. They want to destroy the Constitution, destroy your rights, destroy your property. At least they're fucking honest about it. The Republicans just let them do whatever they want and then pretend like, oh, they're not involved. No, you fucking losers have the power to fix it. In fact, today, maggot Mike Johnson said he can't do anything about the judicial insurrection. Oh, so now he's got no authority. Nothing. He can't say a damn thing. He can't do a damn thing, huh? Go ahead, run a stop sign. Roll on through it. Run a red light. See what happens to you. These fucking people are violating the Constitution, violating the law of the land, impeding administrative justice through the president's office. And they act like they're unfucking touchable. I tell you what, I really hope that James O'Keefe and what he has is a bombshell of bombshells. I hope they get Pam Bondi on film saying something that ties her to criminal behavior. Same with Cash. It would be great if they get arrested, if they're involved in this shit. I have no love for the Republicans anymore. Fuck them. They suck. They do. They do everything they can to lose, and when they win, they still do everything they can to lose. I've never met or seen a bigger bunch of fucking losers ever. Ever. in the world. The government is out of control. It's absolutely out of control. Do you agree? Right? The attorney named Ty Clevenger went after the FBI, called it its excuses in the Seth Rich case weak. And now Ty Clevenger is demanding Congress needs to haul the Federal Bureau of Investigation into hearings. And this is a quote from him. He says, Patel and Bondi have allowed the FBI to continue its pattern of obfuscation and delay. The Epstein files are prime on this. Cash Patel, and Pam Bondi have allowed the FBI to continue its pattern of obfuscation and delay. In other words, hiding facts, doing nothing, and delaying. I'll add, they're slow walking everything. For example, where the hell are the USAID arrests? Where are the Social Security arrests? Where are the arrests for Medicare corruption? With all government bureaucracies, where's the arrest for corruption, for theft, for money laundering, for fraud? Where are the charges? This isn't hard at all. Normally, gathering evidence is the most difficult part. Getting an arrest warrant and going and arrest that person, that's the easy part, right? This isn't hard at all. So the Department of Government Efficiency, Elon Musk and Harry Balls and Big Balls and the whole bunch of balls, they went in and found this fraud, theft, corruption, money laundering, bribe money. They found it in a matter of hours in each case. And 0 arrests, 0 prosecution. The investigation has been done. Right? Elon Musk laid it out. Here's the computer printouts. This is the money. This is where it went. This is who did it. The people who got it, this is what they do with it. It's that fucking simple. Right? It literally is now simple. It's not hard at all. Now, as far as executing a search warrant, Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, I think they went to school for this. They worked professionally, allegedly, for decades. Getting an arrest warrant and arresting somebody is fucking simple. Yet they have not arrested one person in USAID. Not one person has been arrested in Social Security or the Medicare program or any of the other hundreds of bureaucracies that have just given our money away. They are fucking pathetic. The Republicans are pathetic. Pam Bondi is a sack of shit. Cash Patel is a sack of shit. Dan Bongino is a hypocritical, lying sack of shit. Why do I say that about them? Because they promised. They promised they would do their fucking jobs. They promised they would clean up the mess. They promised they would help fix America. They've got the presidency. They've got Congress. They've got the Senate. Sometimes they have a majority in the Supreme Court. They have the people on their side, and they've done jack shit. Pete Hegseth has done something. Yep, he has. The DNI, Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, she's doing something. But the government, with all of its power, trillions of dollars of resources at its disposal, can't arrest a single Epstein pedophile. What's that tell you? What, are they afraid Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports is going to... They're afraid he's going to do what? Make them go to the Holocaust Museum if they try anything? Ridiculous. The Bureau, speaking of bureaucracies and waste and fraud and abuse, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms bureaucracy removed their anti-gun propaganda in their DC headquarter building. Now, the Democrats are out there screaming that the removal of this anti-gun propaganda is re-traumatizing dead victims. Well, if they're dead, they're not being traumatized at all. Now, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, ATF, has politicized their anti-gun agenda. They've taken loosely written laws that are vague, and they've created regulations, rules, if you will, that violate our rights. Right? The ATF politicized their anti-gun agenda. I think that as a government institution, they're supposed to obey both the Constitution and the amendments. They're supposed to support the Second Amendment, right? Firearms, guns, weapons, they're supposed to obey it. And it says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So why is the ATF anti-gun when they should be pro-gun, right? Because that's the law. The law is pro-gun. It's the agenda of the people. But government is and has been anti-America. That's right. Washington, D.C. is anti-America. It is anti-Constitution. And it is pro-tyranny. And if you have any doubts about whether or not the government in Washington, D.C., the FBI, the ATF, the Department of Justice, the Attorney General's office, if you have any doubt that government isn't about tyranny, I would like you to go find the dozens of children murdered by the ATF at Waco and think about how their lives ended when the ATF and other federal agencies murdered them. Also, Ruby Ridge, an infant was murdered. A woman was murdered by the FBI. Fuck them, the ATF, the Attorney General. They're not on America's side. If they were, we could expect to see what? We could see the ATF getting arrest warrants and arresting illegals that are here who possess firearms. I'm sure they could figure that out. They could find illegal activity to enforce the law against. Same with the FBI. They could do that as well. Right? They're not on our side, though. Right? They go after us and they leave illegals alone. They're already here illegally. They're committing Social Security fraud, social services fraud. They're participating in a scheme to defraud the American people. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's unbelievable. And speaking of these people that are here illegally, I'm starting to think of them as pets for the Democrats, right? Trump takes them, sends them over to prison in El Salvador, and the Democrats lose their shit and demand that they be returned. Judges are demanding that illegals that came here, that were criminal before they got here, committed crimes when they got to America, and then committed more crimes like rape, robbery, and murder. The Democrats are honest about what they're doing, folks. But their pets up here have gone wild. They're off the leash. They had a gang member, a 12-year-old leader of a gang. Well, what gang? Tren de Araguay from Venezuela. They are attacking police officers in New York City in Times Square today. Their pets have gone wild. That's what we have, folks. That is the United States of America. That's what we've got now. Absolute shit. Literally, absolute shit. Can you believe it? Well, you should, because that's what we've got. We've got people out of control in the government, not doing their jobs, not giving a shit. It's unbelievable, right? And we have in Congress, in the Senate, a Republican senator named Tom Tillis. He's objecting to an attorney that Trump has put forward, Ed Martin. Ed Martin is the type of attorney who's supposed to do something good for the country. So a Republican is now objecting to it. And guess what? If he objects to it, then I believe Judge Bo Asberg gets to replace this judge, this open seat, with anyone he wants. So once again, Republicans dragging their feet, not doing their job, and allowing Democrats to have all the authority. Unconscionable, unfucking believable. And Trump is going to continue his games, his tariff threats, his tariff negotiations, and the world is confused and off balance. I know that's how Trump does things, folks. I know that's how he does things. But at least he's doing things, whereas all of Congress aren't doing a fucking thing. Not a bit. Not a bit. I hope you got your questions down below, your thoughts, etc., etc. I hope you are ready. Again, I want you guys to understand we're being replaced. Remember, years ago, we were told there's too many humans. America, there's too many people here. In Europe, there's too many people. You guys need to stop. No more kids. Right? And then they say, oh my God, the population's collapsing. But we can't count on white people. We can't count on standard, regular Europeans. No. We need to import people from other countries. Remember that gross lie? There's too many of us. And they make it so expensive with taxation, the cost of having children, the cost of raising children, the cost of educating children, not to mention the government tries stealing all your authority as a parent. And then they want to transgenderize your children or just rape them as sex toys. That's our government. But, population is not growing fast enough. So now we need to import these fucking people. I want you to think about it, folks. This is why they're doing it. This is how they're doing it. This is what they're doing.
Come closer. I've got something to tell you. Something is happening across the Western world. You can feel it on the streets, in the courts, at work, and online. It's not just political. It's not just cultural. It's psychological. A silent shift is underway, and it has a name. The inversion matrix. 5 sections. Section 1. The reversal begins. In this new system, the native becomes the intruder, the majority becomes the villain, and the truth becomes hate speech. The very people whose ancestors built these nations, who raised the families, tilled the land, and paid taxes, now find themselves apologizing for simply existing. How did this happen? Section 2. Psychological engineering and guilt programming. It began with psychological engineering. First, inject guilt programming, a constant stream of reminders about colonialism, slavery, privilege, and oppression. Then, flood the language with weaponized labels. Racist, transphobe, Islamophobe, far-right, each designed to shut down conversation, to train you, to self-censor, and to submit. This isn't about justice, it's about control through confusion. Section 3. The 2-tier system of compassion. Look around and you'll see it. As a matter of fact, I think that you know it already. Certain groups can gather publicly in the name of religion or pride. Others are fined, silenced, or arrested for praying silently. Crimes by one group are explained away as trauma, misunderstanding, or cultural norms. Same crime committed by someone else, instant outrage, national headlines, and cancellation. We've moved from equal rights to engineered imbalance, from justice for all to justice selectively applied. Section 4. Institutional capture. Every major institution in the Western world has been taken over by the same ideological virus. Schools no longer teach pride in culture, but shame in history. Police now investigate feelings, not felonies. Media filters truth through an ideological lens, where facts are problematic and narratives are sacred. Even churches and temples now bow down to slogans instead of scripture. This is called institutional capture, and it's not accidental. Section 5 is the long game. Divide, demoralize, and replace. But why? Because a divided, guilt-ridden, and morally paralyzed society is easier to govern. Shatter its tradition, drown it in imported ideologies, redefine its language, and turn its people against themselves. This is what I'm keep trying to say. These are the true cracks through the matrix. The end goal? Not justice, not harmony, but the population too confused to resist and too fragmented to unite. But let's be clear. This isn't a war between races, or religions, or genders. It's a war between truth and programming. Between those who remember who they are and those who've been rethought to forget. You don't need to hate anyone, but you do need to see. Because the longer we stay silent, the more the inversion matrix tightens. Until what was once solid, identity, family, faith, law, becomes liquid, then meaningless, then gone. This isn't about hate, I repeat. It's about survival. And if you're still listening, it means the program didn't fully work on you. Not yet.
The more I watch that or listen to it, and there are others speaking similar facts, similar beliefs, similar truths, the more I listen to it, the more sense it makes. That's exactly what the government is doing, not just America, but around the world. And they're doing it willfully, intentionally, and at your expense. And they're hoping we will not fight back, that we will just quit, give up, not try. That's what they're hoping, that we become passive to it. It's like, we can't do anything. We're powerless. Get ready, folks. You've got way, way, way more power than you know. We all do. And it's time we start using it. For now, though, we're going to go to the inner circle, and I want your questions, your comments, your thoughts. I want to know what you're thinking. What observations have you made? And if anyone has any news on the James O'Keefe bombshell report coming out, let's hear it. Thank you again, Mr. T, for those great transition, intro, outros, etc. And Mr. Uman, who is tirelessly here behind the scenes, making sure the incompetent in Washington, D.C. are held accountable. Thank you, Mr. Uman. So let's do some questions and thoughts. What do you guys want to talk about? We're going to start with Redneck Roughneck, always a crowd favorite. He says, you see how nervous Pam Bondi was in that response. Are they watching the videos or erasing the videos? I hear what you're saying. Yeah, she loves to run to the cameras, but she wasn't so excited about this because Representative Comer, and hopefully he's a real representative of the people, right? He stirred the shit. He got a big spoonful of it and he threw it against the wall and it stuck. Good. Pam Bondi had to come out and respond. All of a sudden they have the Epstein files, the Epstein videos. Oh, but there's tens of thousands of them. That's unfucking believable. Tens of thousands? tens of thousands of videos? If that's the case, there should be hundreds of arrests. But we only need to start with 1, and then 2, and then 4, and then 10. It just gets easier every time. But there hasn't been a single fucking arrest. And yeah, redneck, Pam Bondi threw it right back at Kash Patel. Oh, the FBI has it. The FBI has it, not me. I don't have it on my desk, even though I said it did. I don't have a truckload of it, even though I said I did. And again, oh, we have to go through it. We have to redact names to protect the innocent. We have to redact names of national security items. We have to not say anything about it, and we're not going to give you a time frame ever. It'll be next week, and then we don't know when. Right? They're full of shit. She knows. We all fucking know it. And I really hope, folks, the one reason, the one way that we could all know exactly why nothing has been done is that she is in on it. That she is one of them, or she is covering for them because they have paid her. They are her paymasters. They have threatened her. You know, if she's going to lie, why not lie for us? Why not come out and say, here's a list. These are the top 10 bad guys right here. Right? This banker, that politician, this English royal guy, this Israeli guy, this German guy, this American girl, blah, 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 blah. Give us 10. And then go, and by the way, they're threatening me. They're calling my office. They're leaving threatening letters. They're trying to tell me not to do this. But I'm working for you people, the American people, and let's get this done. All she has to do to get everyone to support her is to do that, is to do her fucking job. Instead, she's chosen to be hated and reviled as she most cowardly fucking hides. Oh, man, I tell you, roughneck, I've fucking had it. Tired of waiting. Tired of it. We had to wait 4 fucking years for him with dumbass, let's go Brandon, Joe Biden in office, and his fucking attack dog, Merrick Garland, lying to the American people, accusing them of being domestic terrorists. Remember that sack of shit? And Alejandro Mayorkas leaving the border open? And every fucking liar screwing us up. We had to wait 4 years of that shit. Had to win a fucking election. Witnessed an attempted assassination and other assassination attempts beside. Finally get our president in. He finally appoints people to do the job. And now all they do is drag their fucking feet and lie to us. That's why there's zero respect for Washington, D.C. Yesterday, didn't we end the show talking about Jim Jordan and doing something? Nope, haven't heard anything. Not a fucking word. No arrests. Nope. They're like very bad parents. All they do is go, you better do as you're told, or you might get contempt. Well, the only one who's gotten in trouble for criminal contempt has been, well, Republicans who got sent to jail for it. Republicans don't do shit. They fucking suck. They're cowards and they're chicken shit. All right, Uman, who's next? Uman says, it's very possible that Blondie, Trump, and others are on the list. It is very possible. Even if they didn't do anything, they'd have some splaining to do. Sure, yeah. Jizzy Maxwell on her client list, she could have every Republican there. Even if they never went to Epstein Island, they could still just be in the book of clients, right? There could be family members in her book of clients, right? It's just a list. Now, as easily as Pam Bondi could have been handwritten into the list, she could take herself out of the list. She could have a meeting with Trump. She could have a meeting with Kash Patel and say, I never went there. Well, then we got to go. Well, there's lots of people on the list that didn't go there. Oh, gotcha. So never mind the list. You've got pictures and you've got videos. Pictures and videos. There's your people that have children. Go get them. There's zero fucking excuse. Sure, they got some splaining to do on the list if that's the case. But wouldn't you want that kind of a list if you were Jeffrey Epstein? You would want all of your political allies as well as adversaries on that list. Who cares? Too bad. Right? Too bad. Explain yourself fine. But then all she'd have to do is come out and go, we reviewed all the videotapes and Trump is not in them. We reviewed all the videotapes, right? And this person and this person and this person who are on the client list inside the little black book, but they're not filmed. But I don't know, Barack is, Michelle is, Clinton is, the other Clinton is. Right? They could name the names and make the fucking arrests. You see, this one topic is occupying a huge amount of our time when talking about shit hitting the fan. It's because it's that big. And it could, if executed, cause us a whole lot of trouble. They could shut down the grid. They could interrupt government services, electricity, food, water. They could really punish us for catching them being absolute scum. Well, let's hope. Let's hope they do something, because I'm ready for it. I'm tired of fucking waiting. I'm tired of getting more gray hairs, or white, if you will. That's why I keep it nice and short, to hide the white hairs. In any event, let's have some more questions and thoughts and discussion here. Mr. Uman, where we rolling is deplorable Yankee redneck, always an optimist. He says, Diddy was supposed to be going on trial. Any news on that? Yes, I have some news on the P. Diddy. P. Diddy, a Hollywood big shot. I think he was even a billionaire. He is a sexually deprived freak. And guess what? Allegedly, according to reports, Kamala Harris is on his party list. Isn't that interesting? Former Vice President Camel Toes Harris. Former Democrat presidential candidate and retard Kamala Harris. Kamala. How about Camel Toe? How about Kamala? How about Kamala? You know, she doesn't deserve to have her fucking name pronounced politely or properly or any way she wants. Fuck her. She was Attorney General for the state of California, and her claim to fame there was keeping black men imprisoned over chicken shit marijuana charges, and then keeping these same men in jail past their sentence date. In other words, they served their time, and she kept them in prison anyway. She is a fucking scoundrel and a piece of shit. But apparently she also hung out. Now, who else is in the P. Diddy zone? Barack Obama. Oprah Winfrey. Kamala Harris. And lots and lots and lots of celebrities. Surprise? Well, same thing. We need the list to come out. The trial needs to happen. It needs to be made public. You see, that's the only way to fix a problem, is to make it public. Secret hearings and secret trials doesn't do anyone any good. You want law and order in this country? You want everyone to behave, and then you have to do things publicly so we all know. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Government, though, they keep secrets. They protect themselves. They protect those that are protected. It's a big, giant fucking sham. It really is. It's a giant sham. Ah, boy, I tell you. Who's ready for more? Mr. Uman, I think I'm ready for more. What do we have next? Well, we got Dr. 762. And for those of you who don't know, 7.62 millimeter is the NATO round. Used to be the 308 Winchester. Same round. But Dr. 762 says, if Trump is a patriot, if he understands the situation, he will have to use the military, period. Now, we got a bit of good news here, and I want to cover this. That's why I opened up the show with Pete Hegseth. Pete is getting woke out of the fucking military, and that includes communist pieces of shit. Yes, they're still in there. They're hiding. They're pretending to be normal. That's what they did. That's how they got in power in the first place. They went through the school. They got into the officer candidate school, right? They got commissioned. They kept their heads low all the time, looking for more communists to bring into the military. Always looking for more, promoting their communist friends, promoting their communist underlings, getting and recruiting more communists. And then they took over. Pete's got to get them out of there. There's going to be moles and trolls. But here's the deal. I want a toxically masculine fucking military, folks. I want everyone in the military to be like me or worse. Right. Now, here's the deal. Down on the southern border, there are areas that are now designated as military posts along the border. What does that do? It allows the military to act there. It's not martial law, it's military control of the border. The military is being trained to deal with these civilian, shall we say, illegal immigrants. The military is being put into this position. Trump has to do something, and it's likely he'll use the military. In the great state of Florida, my home state now, my adopted state, my home state, Governor DeSantis is having his state guard become judges, military judges, tribunals. In other words, they're setting up the legal system, which is not part of the federal legal system. Military tribunals. They don't fuck around, folks. The Uniform Code of Military Justice is very quick and efficient. And that's what they want. They want speed and efficiency. No bullshit, no stringing stuff along for years. Here's the person. Here's the crime. Evidence here. Defensive evidence there. Guilty or not. Oh, you're guilty. You're done. You're out. Next. So the military is getting involved on the border. The military is getting cleaned out. They're getting rid of the woke. They're setting up tribunals and justice systems. I think Trump is a patriot, and I pray that he is fully 100% all-American, no bullshit, America first patriot. But right now I'm not happy because he's not calling the bluff of Bondi. He's not calling the bluff of Kash Patel. He's not calling him out. He's not making demands. But others are, folks. General Flynn has been. Roger Stone has been. Sidney Powell, the Kraken attorney, has been calling them out big time. And your everyday, normal, pro-America social media people out there are sick and tired of this. They're calling them out. It has to happen. People are like, I'm not voting again. Well, you'll see where the fuck that gets you to. We're going to have conflict. It's just what flavor. I would rather have all the evil people on their heels, backpedaling, running, hiding, rather than being in charge in 4 years, coming right at us, because Trump did nothing and nothing was done, and they get their power back, and then they're going to fuck us with it. In another 4 fucking years, I'll be too damn old and tired to do anything by then. It's go time. All right. Great topics. Mr. Uman, who's up next? And Uman is back. He says, looks like a second FA-18 Super Hornet from the USS Truman went into the Red Sea upon trying to land. Apparently, the arrestment failed. I guess tailhook missed. Yes, the other day, they were doing a maneuver, and a Super Hornet rolled off the fucking deck into the ocean or sea. Not a good deal. You see, this is the problem with a woke military. This is the Navy's job. When you're in the military, folks, you have a job. You have a military occupational specialty, an MOS, and you train, and that is all you do is that job. Very few of us had multiple jobs, multiple responsibilities, where one day you could be doing this thing, and the next day you could be on a plane going to shoot somebody, right? But these people on the decks, that's their job. The pilots, that's their fucking job. You take off, you land. Woke military. Whoops, I forgot to tie down the jet so it wouldn't roll off the deck into the fucking ocean. Whoops, I guess we forgot to put the arrestment cable up. Whoops-a-daisy. Not a good scene, folks. Anyways, Robin Free to Be checks in and says, Uman, I wonder if the culprit is a trans about to be kicked out who is sabotaging the planes. I can't help it. I have to do it. It's the plane, boss, the plane. That was a callback to Fantasy Island, where we had Mr. O'Rourke and Tattoo. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Robin. That makes a lot of sense. That we've got anti-Trump, right? Anti-Pete Hegseth traders. We've already seen it at command level in Greenland, in Washington, D.C., various Democrat scumbags doing what? Refusing to put the picture of the president, the vice president, and the secretary of defense on the wall. Folks, every fucking where I went when I was a jarhead, including the Chow Hall. I look up on the wall at the Chow Hall, and there's President Reagan and Dick Cheney on the fucking wall, right? Not Dan Quayle, George Bush, right? President, vice president, secretary, at the Chow Hall. Not to mention, as soon as you walk into whatever your command is, right? You got the chain of command. They don't like it. And I really think, Robin, that is a very intelligent guess, if we want to use the word guess, or conclusion. Sounds like you thought about it. Makes sense. They're going to get kicked out. They're going to cost America millions and millions of dollars. By the way, I think the F-18 Super Hornets, though they've been around for decades and decades and decades, are incredible, incredible jets. And they've managed to keep them going for so long because they're just incredible fucking jets. In any event, here we are. All right, Robin, thank you so much for checking in and giving us that thought. Mr. Uman, we've got a few minutes left. What do we want to discuss? And it's our good friend James Nicholson. He's back, and he says, good evening, John. The American people don't have the stomach to extract justice. Those that would end up hanging out by themselves. Do you think anything will be done? I don't think the American people have the stomach to go do the job themselves. I think the average person, right, if they had to serve an arrest warrant, they wouldn't do it. They couldn't do it. They don't have the stomach for it. But that's why we're supposed to have an administration that is set up, that has people that know what the hell they're doing, that is their job, and they do it. Either passionately or dispassionately, it doesn't matter, as long as they do it properly. You see, everyone can agree justice needs to happen. The argument comes in as to what is justice and what isn't. Democrats think it is unjust to kick illegals out. It is unjust, right, to let Trump run for president. It's unjust for to stop pedophiles from raping children. They think that's wrong, right? To the contrary, or to the opposite, we're looking at things going, it is unjust to allow illegals in, and it's unjust to allow pedophiles to continue to rape kids, and it's unjust to allow Democrats to violate our rules and laws. Do I think anything will be done? The answer is yes. I just don't know what. I don't know how much, if it'll be enough to matter. I don't know if we're going to end up with basically partisan conflict and civil war in the streets as a consequence. The average person, I agree with you, does not have the stomach to extract justice. But the average person, the average American, doesn't fucking know the facts. They don't know anything. Right? They're just like, yeah, we heard about Epstein. He's a bad guy. Now we heard there's some problem with kids. Now we heard he's got a list, right? Most people don't have a fucking clue, period. Much less the stomach to do anything about it. And that's why they don't learn about it. That's why they remain blissfully ignorant. Is so they don't have to feel like they have to do anything about it. So they don't have to feel upset the way we're upset with what we're seeing. They live an easier, more relaxed life in their head. But that's their choice. That's their option. That's their right. These same people, when things go bad and they're uncomfortable, oh, yeah, then you're going to hear from them. They want to stay comfortable, quiet, and blissfully ignorant. And therefore, I couldn't give a shit what they want. Remember, 80% of the American colonists did nothing or supported England during the Revolution. 80% of America doesn't know a fucking thing, doesn't care, won't lift a finger. It's going to be up to those of us who do know, James. Okay, Mr. Uman, where are we rolling next? These are some great comments, great questions, great thoughts. And Dr. 762 is back. And in Uman, he says, Uman, I'm thinking that Trump can't really see the problem from that ivory tower he lives in. How do we go about addressing this? This is a great topic. Does Trump understand? Trump is not a retard. He knows it's important. Does he see a problem in the time frames? Well, he may not have as much a problem as us because, well, he has his plan. He has his goals. He has his agenda. He has his routine. He has his procedure. And it's not what we want, or we'd be hearing from him. Right? So I don't think that he doesn't care. I just don't think that he gives a shit how pissed off we're getting because he's got his plan. Right? This is the ivory tower, if you wish, or you could say the executive suite, the top floor. Their thinking is always different than those people who are doing the work, doing the manufacturing. Right? The big dogs always have a different perspective because they're more comfortable. They make more money. They've got more assets, yada, yada, yada. And I'm not putting down the rich or the powerful. It's just how it is. Trump is in charge. So he's got his plan, his timelines. When you're starving, when you're hungry beyond belief, you want to eat now. And you and I, America, patriots, veterans, we're hungry for justice. We've been starved for justice, and we want to eat now. There's a big fucking difference between us and Trump, and that is it. That he's got his justice. They fucking lied about him. They attacked him. They sued him. They arrested him. They shot him through the fucking ear, and he got elected, and he has the power and authority, and he's going to do what he wants. So he is satisfied. He may not be happy with what's going on. He may want it to go faster, but he's got his plan. But they're not going to share that plan with you and I. They're going to keep us in the dark like a fucking mushroom. They're going to feed us a little bit of shit and a little bit of water, and then hopefully we survive, right? That's how I see it. In any event, folks, chance favors the prepared mind. Go to thepreparedmind.club. Get what you need to be prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, communications equipment, solar panel, power, batteries. Get prepared because something is coming. And it's going to shit all over us. Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours.